Hello, this is Dwayne Golden. I'd like to give you a quick start guide to setting up your autoresponder system. And the way you're going to do that is once you log into your back office and you're on your dash, you're going to see these different icons for the products you have once you've accessed them. If you're here for the free trial or you're here setting up your autoresponder because you purchased one of our packages, well, I'm going to show you the quick start guide to getting set up. So you just go ahead and click access my product once you're on the autoresponder. And here's what you can expect. When you get inside, the first thing we're going to do is take a look around. We want to make sure you know your way around how to access things. So for starters, when you first get to the dash, you're just going to learn how many campaigns you have, which you would have 0 right now, how many people have opted into your form because you'd have 0, and then you'd be able to track some of the data of people that are clicking on your sites where you have your autoresponder set up, things of that sort. Now, what's interesting is you have categories of different things right now. Like, so you can look at your subscribers and manage them. You also have your email campaign, how to set up a broadcast message to your people that are in your list. And then segmentation rules that are needed. You have the rules that you set up here in this section. So we're going to go ahead and begin with creating a campaign because there's no subscribers because you don't even have a campaign. So we're going to take a look at your campaigns. And the first thing you want to do is create a new campaign because even though I have some in this test account, you will have 0. So I'm going to click create new campaign. And when I do this, I want you to note, I'm going to make it simple, right? I'm going to call this one new user campaign. Okay? As I set up the new users campaign, I'm going to go ahead and put the details in here, right? All right. New user demonstration for setting up accounts. Boom. Now that I got that, who's the sender, right? In this case, the sender is Dwayne Golden. Email address, dgolden464@yahoo.com. Okay? There we go. Now I've set it up. Now what you note is when you set this up, like I said, this is a quick start guide. You're probably not going to have a lot of things to really customize your autoresponder yet. If you did, you might have a page where you give them a congratulations, you're now subscribed message. Or you'd have an external link where it already exists. You put that URL in. But we provide one for you by default. If you're just getting set up, just use the default message. Default link. The same for the unsubscribe. You don't have to have your own. Use the one we provide. Lastly, there is a subject line for the message once someone subscribes. What do you want to say? It already says, please confirm your subscription. They're going to get in the title message of their email, please confirm your subscription, right? You can change this to be however personal you want. You notice it has brackets with the name there. That's our merge code so that their name, once they opted in, whatever name they put in there is going to show up. So you're personally helping them to subscribe into your list, okay? Now, what else? I want you to note that we have merge codes you can put for the thank you message. Once they do subscribe, you can literally give them a thank you message. We have a default one here, but you can customize it, right? And thank them for subscribing to your list. That's where this happens. Once you have this done, you're almost finished, but you're not. You just want to go down and make sure you include the information of to get notifications every time when someone subscribes. Who do you want them to send that message to? Do you want to notify someone in your office? Do you want it yourself? For me, I want it myself. I'm going to put Dwayne Golden. And I want that subscription message to go to me at one of my email addresses, okay? So I'm going to pick one of my email addresses. And let's just say my Hotmail, right? SteelerQB10@msn.com. That's who I want to get the notification. Lastly, the last thing I do before I create the campaign is I'm going to choose where I am. Where do you live? Mountain time, Eastern time, Alaska, Hawaii, right? Are you in another country? Wherever you are, you could just put it there. For me, I'm in Eastern, U.S., Canada, Bogota, right? I'm in Colombia most of the time or the United States, and so this is the right time for me. I'm going to create my campaign. Now I've created a campaign, and as you're learning your way around, take a look at what happens when you create a campaign, just so you can continue to know your way around. So my campaign is inactive. I'm going to need to activate it. my double opt-in is enabled, right? But watch this. I can edit my campaign right here, or I can activate my campaign so it can be ready and in use. So how do I do that? I just click activate. Now it's activated. I can create an opt-in form here so that I can have a form ready to utilize. I can actually manage the opt-in form once I create it, so I can get a link for it, or I can take the code and put it into my own website. And I can also track the messaging from email messages that go out to track the opens and track the clicks. On this section, you get campaign reports out of the campaign. What type of responses or bounces or things are you getting based on people giving you artificial email addresses and things like that. And then, of course, if your campaign is working for you, it's doing well, and you'd like to set it up so that people that are in your organization could use it, you can provide them a share code and they get the identical campaign. The only thing they have to do is change out their email address. I mean, their name and their contact information, but the actual campaign would stay intact and already be ready for them to utilize. And in this last one, you can just click to delete. So in knowing your way around and creating a campaign, I've just walked you through some of the simple things there. Now, in this, what I call quick start, I also want to show you how to manage subscribers once you have that list together. So let's take a look. In campaigns that we have here, in my new user success campaign, I have a verified subscriber. His name is Dwayne Golden, right? He opted in. And I didn't ask him in the opt-in form for his gender or his age, but once I get that information and additional information, I can edit it right here through Edit Subscriber. I can go over to Edit Subscriber, then I can put his address if he gives me that, so I can really manage this contact. As I get his new phone number, I'm going to edit it here so I have that on file. City, state, country, and then even an age so I can respond on birthdays. You can manage your subscribers this way, and it's pretty self-explanatory. I can search out my subscribers, people added today. I can do it by filtering out these information that you see right here. And then, of course, I can go on and begin to delete people that never verified or verified their subscription by clicking the link, or I can just leave it there and recontact them again and give them another chance. There's all kinds of options you have like that. Let's take another look. Let's take another look as I go over and I go to the segmentation rules. In fact, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go right to the broadcast message for you real quick. As I look at the broadcast messaging, I want you to note that it's pretty simple stuff. I can actually create a broadcast message. Well, of course, I can view the reports from a message I already sent. I can resend the message, right? The same message again, like get ready, the webinar is coming soon. I can resend the message to people that didn't open it yet. So if I send a message out this morning preparing for an event, and then I find out that, 28% didn't open, I can quickly send it to that 28% that didn't open. And here I can share the share code from my broadcast message. If I found that it was very effective, I could use it with other folks that are in my team. Lastly, I can edit the broadcast message if it hasn't gone out yet, and I can delete the broadcast message. And here, I can track the clicks and opens and things of that sort. Now, let's go over. Here's where I create a new broadcast message, okay? When I do that, it's simple. I'm given a WYSIWYG where I can determine if it's HTML, text, or text and HTML. I set up the time zone, right? I click here to set up the time zone so that it matches, because I might have a scheduled broadcast message. It may be that I want the message to go out, but I want it to go out tomorrow. And so in order for that to happen, I need to make sure I have the right time zone. So here's where I'd set up the subject line. If I want to include merge codes, I would just put the name and it would populate there and then put it in there. So that's how that would work. So when you put the merge codes in, I want you to note, let me see, email or let's say name. I want you to note when you put those in that they populate immediately, but they can go into any part of the subject line. In the actual email message, it's a WYSIWYG that you get to use HTML, or if you want to use the coding from an email message you already have, you click here, and you can begin to just type your message and it'll be ready, and use the merge codes. Even to at the bottom of the message, they're asked to unsubscribe. because it's good etiquette, and at the same time it keeps our reputation fine for our IP address. Then down here is where we're going to decide what are we going to do. We're going to have any attachments, right? Do we want to send it now or do we want to send later? If we send later, let's pick the date and time and get that set up. And so it's pretty simple. You just follow through the things we have here. Even we can select specific subscribers in a list. We can select not every campaign, but just some of them. And then lastly, we confirm the sender who it's coming from and the sender email. Let me tell you something. I recommend that whatever name you ever use for sender or the sender email, keep it consistent with the one on file. One of the things that's done to block and throw email messages in spam from broadcast is if it's coming from a different person who's set up in the profile of the email account, and then you're putting a different name on these. So I want you to note that every day email service providers are becoming more and more intelligent, and they want to protect their subscribers. So keep it consistent. Ensure that the people you're mailing to know who it's coming from and don't mix it up. Let it be all from the same person. Lastly, here's something that's interesting. When you send a broadcast message, it can trigger a campaign, a 5, 10, 15, 20 message series, or a monthly newsletter. Once you send the broadcast out, you connect it to whatever kind of campaigns you have, and they will begin to get those messages. It's really cool. And one of the things I like to do is I like to send a test message myself first. When I send a test message, I go ahead and put it here, put the email addresses here, and send it to see how it looks to make sure I formatted it correctly. So that's it. That's setting up a broadcast message. And there's only one more section we want to go through here, and that's your segmentation rules. This part's easy. See, when you create a rule, the rule is only to make sure that you can properly appropriate who gets a message from you. And if you're sending a broadcast message, maybe you have some who are part of a list you don't want to get it. Or you want to make sure when someone subscribes to, let's say, your private campaign, you want them to automatically unsubscribe from your family campaign so they don't get a message twice. Or just so you can keep things organized. That's how this works. Once you set it up, you click submit, the system's going to know. It's going to help you stay organized. That's how this works. We wish you all the best. There's more you can do with your autoresponder system. We recommend set up a scheduled call. We can walk you through it. Maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Even oftentimes, I'll jump in there to see how things are going, and I will often get in there and do it with you or one of the members from my team. So go ahead, get started now, and if you have any questions, contact us. Allow us to help you. This is Dwayne Golden. God bless you. We wish you all the best as you set up your autoresponder campaign.